Yeah, so right here, this right here, Rebecca Carroll, Awkward Kitty, friend of mine, emote artist, so on and so forth. Just want to make it clear right now that she has instilled in my brain that I want chicky nugs. And it is far too early in the morning to get chicky nugs anywhere around here, and I'm currently suffering because of it. Motherfucker. Oh, also, just want to know, it was a joke. Awkward Kitty is amazing. You should check her out. Awkward Kitty Inc. on Twitch. She does great emote work, all that stuff. Even though I am mad that she has me wanting chicken nugs. God damn it. Hello. We're here. We're on Uncut Silos. It's a thing that we're doing right now. Because that's what I do. And today we're going to be talking about private servers while we run a silo quickly. Because that's what this whole thing is, right? We go as fast as we can. Try and break records. And talk about things while we do it. And today, with private servers coming out in a couple days, I'm going to talk a little bit more about them. Right? I mentioned them on the last Raw and Uncut. But, I think they deserve a full episode because people are hype. Arguably more hype than they should be. And they have unreal expectations. So, that being said, let me get everything going here. We are on the shotgunner. No food. Should be fine. Should be fine. Alright. So we're going to do the thing. We're going to go fast. And we're going to talk about private servers. Ooh. Alright, you know the drill. Time starts when we exit the elevator. Time ends when the quest complete or the rewards pop up. So, that being said, make sure I have everything. Go fast. Mainframe gun. Ah, you know what I'm missing? Grenades. Missing grenades. I don't even know if I have any. How do you use them all? So, we'll do the thing. We'll go get some grenades here. But yeah, private servers are coming sooner than you think. It was not sooner than I thought. In fact, well, actually, they came, period. So, I mean, that's good. I didn't expect them to. So I guess it was sooner than I expected because I was expecting never. But until they're actually in our grasps, until we can actually use them, I don't know. Still on the fence. You can never be too careful with Bethesda, right? There was and is a lot of people who have unreasonable expectations for what these servers are going to be, how they're going to work, what you'll be able to do on them, so on and so forth. What I've been seeing a lot of is conjecture and assumptions about having like these full admin controls. The ability to do anything you want because it's your server. Well, maybe. You know, in a perfect world, that's what it would be, right? But realistically, you know, all this is going to be, and a few people on Twitter agree with me, all this is going to be all this is going to be is a server that you can choose who is allowed on it. You are not going to be able to change any settings. You are not going to be able to adjust the silo times, the day-night cycles. You are not going to be able to do any of that. Well, maybe the inconsequential things. But like silo times, spawning in items is something I've seen people talk about. Which is the most ridiculous to me, right? Oh god. Not going to be a fast run. Now, all of these things that you are probably used to being able to do on a private server is simply not going to work in Fallout 76, right? The ecosystem, the economy, everything is tied together when we play on our public servers, right? You can go literally to any server and your character is there. Your private server, I am fairly certain, because they have not said otherwise, and this is something I feel like they would have told us because it's important. Your private server is still going to be connected to that ecosystem. It is still going to be connected to the rest of the public servers. You just can choose who can join you on said server. We don't know how that is going to be done. We don't know what sort of who we can give access to, how they can get access, if you need to be on the server, so on and so forth. That's all this is going to be. It's going to be a server that you can lock down. You will be able to do nothing else with it. Period. You will not be able to do anything else with it yet. Because of that ecosystem, right? Giving people the ability to spawn in weapons, adjust silo times, do all that stuff that, you know, affects the economy. It doesn't make sense. Why would they allow you to do that? Why would they allow you to spawn in the best weapon that you could possibly have and then bring it onto a server where PvP can happen, or you are playing with other people, right? It doesn't make sense. Of course they're not going to let you do that. Same thing with like just changing this the silo timers, right? The 3 hours personal cooldown. It's ridiculous because then you could just keep chain running the Scorch Beast Queen, which they are clearly trying to stop you from doing by having timers, right? The timers are a way to stop you from just doing it back to back. Now, of course, you can just server hop. Of course, you can do that. And that's a reasonable way to get around it. But to assume that they're going to give you your own private server and then allow you to do whatever you want on it, and then bring whatever it is that you get on your private server that could be spawned in, that could be duped, you know, you could not have been gotten legitimately, and so forth. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous and naive to think that, right? And I think it's largely because a lot of the Fallout population is people who just played Fallout games before. Maybe they haven't played other multiplayer games or understand how these ecosystems work. But it could severely throw off the balance of the game. Sure, you can make the argument that things like the Purveyor and script and duping, which it does, obviously, already flood the market with these things. But imagine if it completely eliminated that randomness that is loot right now. Everybody would be running around with their bloodied handmaids, explosive handmaids, their bloody 25-25 handmaids, right? There would be nothing left to do. It just will not be a thing. You will not be able to do anything like that. The extent of what you can do, and I'm sure of this, is let people onto your server, let them play on your server, and that's about it. Until the ecosystem that is Fallout 76 changes. It would have to be completely revamped, right? It would have to be, this is already a fucked run. It would have to be something similar to like 7 Days to Die, Ark, Atlas, so on and so forth, where every server is its own world and different, right? Your character is no longer tied to everything into every server. It's tied to that specific server. That is a complete change from what it is now. And it's a change I can't see them doing without telling us. I don't think that they would do that without telling us. For two reasons. It's such a change to what we expect and know about the game that it would just be in bad form to not tell your core base that like this is coming, right? Second, it would require the private servers to be a completely different I lost my train of thought. It would require the private servers to effectively be the main way you play, right? I mean, of course, you could have public servers, you could have official servers, and games like Ark and 7 Days to Die have official servers, but the majority is on private servers, right? Privately owned servers, privately owned in quotation marks. Because, the company and the server hosting companies, they still own the server technically. Privately hosted servers, I guess. Right, that you get through a hosting company. You're not going to be able to host your own. You're not going to be able to run your own server off your laptop. It's not going to happen. It's not what it's designed to do. It's designed to make money for them, Bethesda. So, people need to check their expectations in that regard. Now, of course, and this sucks, of course, they did say that mods are to come. What does that mean? Right? Maybe the private servers are coming eventually. Like true private servers. Not just lockdown servers, but like private servers you can do whatever you want with. But again, it would still require them to not be tied to public where the majority of people will probably still be playing. Right? Because what you do on a private server could fundamentally change the core game for everybody else. And for people who don't want to play with people who have these crazy modded guns or these modded, whatever the case may be, it's not fair. So, of course, if they allow you to mod, it's going to have to be on completely separate servers that are not tied to the larger game world, or the mods are not what the Fallout modding community want them to be. You think of other online games, this isn't an MMO, but it runs a lot of the same core concepts aside from the massive part, right? WoW doesn't allow you to fundamentally change stuff on their servers, right? It just doesn't happen. And this is talking about public stuff, right? This is talking about like the public servers, right? If it's your own server not tied to the official servers, all right, fine, whatever. Or the publicly accessible servers through like the adventure mode thing, fine. But it's just not gonna happen. Will you be able to mod your server? Yeah. Are those mods going to have any effect on your character that you play everywhere else? Probably not. And aside from streamers, I'm curious, and like pre-built communities or existing communities, right? Man, how many people really are going to have the ability to fill up a 24 plus slot server? The average person, probably not, right? Probably not. So, will it be a good place to experiment with things? Of course it will be. Will it be a good place to do some RP, if that's what you're inclined to do? Sure. Will it be a good place to build and fuck around with stuff? Yep. Will there be a creative mode? They didn't say it, and I feel like that's something they would probably hype up if it existed. Will there be a way for you to spawn in materials so you didn't have to go farm for stuff? Nope. None of that will exist. I bank on it. And that is predicated upon the fact that they have not told us that this is completely separate instances. They haven't told us otherwise, but they haven't said They haven't said either way, but we can assume that this is what they will be. The way they've talked about them, right? Vaguely. The way they've vaguely spoken about these things, we can assume that they are still tied to the larger official servers. Which is why we can logically think through this and realize that it is not going to be this oasis where everything changes for Fallout. It's going to be a place for you and your friends to play and do what you want without other people. Or for you just to play by yourself. For those people who don't want to play with other people, here you go. There you have it. You know, $15 a month, supposedly. And you can do that. It's going to be a place for streamers and communities to not have to fight a queue. But it is going to be fundamentally, and at its core, the same game we've been playing. Modding may change that. When modding comes. They said yet, or they said eventually or something like that. They did not actually say it was even in the pipeline. It just said no, it's not a thing right now. Right? So we may never get modding. Who knows? And when they do, it will not be mods that can fundamentally change the game and ruin the ecosystem that they've created. It's just not what it will be. No, it's as long as they are using Amazon for their server host, they are limited into what they're allowed to do. Or what they can do, or what they are willing to do easily, right? It's not the same as going through like Nitrado or Blue Fang or something like that, where they can prioritize servers, where they can have, you know, where you can choose what kind of box you have, what else is on that box, so on and so forth. Right? That's not what they're doing here. They're just opening up servers that are connected to your account, the owner, or whatever you want to call it. That's all they're doing. So please, please, please check your expectations. We are let down far too often with Fallout 76. And, is this a good thing? Yes. This is very much a good thing, and it's a thing that we need. But I do not believe it is going to be enough to keep this game afloat on Twitch until Wastelanders. Like I said in my last video, they need to give us more. This is great, and it's a good start, but you cannot bank on this. If it was a completely different way of playing the game and redoing the server system where people can exist in their own like clusters of servers and play in their own little clusters of servers and communities can play together, that would be fundamentally game changing. That would fundamentally change the way in which we play Fallout 76. This will not. This will not. Especially those, you know, for the, you know, the average player probably doesn't need a private server. It's an important step and a step in the right direction. And I'm glad it's happening. This is by no means to say that this is a bad thing or that, you know, it's a waste of our time, it's pandering. I mean, it's none of that. This is a thing we've been calling for a while, and now we have it. It's just the expectations need to be in line with what we're going to get. I'm not upset about it. I think this is great, and I'm glad we're getting them. But it is not going to be what a lot of people think it's going to be. Or apparently, what I'm seeing in Twitch chats, what I'm seeing in YouTube comments, you know, just what I'm hearing from people that I talk to is just like, wow, this is not how it works. The game is not set up to work like this. And for it to be set up that way would require some insane changes that just I don't see happening. They would have told us if they're going to be changing everything about the game. Because unlinking, you know, these servers and making it so private servers and public servers are separate, that's something you have to tell people. That is something you have to tell people. And as incompetent as Bethesda seems to be at times, I do not think they would miss that mark, because that's a huge mark to miss. That is an absolutely huge mark to miss. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt on this one, that this is not what's going to happen. So we will see. We will see. This is a slow as fuck run. Now, man, this is the slowest run I've done in a long time. So yeah, it's just, that's it. I mean, I get it. People are excited. And I want them to be excited. I want people to be excited about this game. I want people to love this game as much as I do. And I'm just so tired of seeing people let down. And this time, it's not even Bethesda's fault. It's people getting hyped up about a thing that's just not going to happen. It's not going to be it. And I hope I'm wrong. If I'm wrong about all this, I think it'll be for the better overall. I do. But, you know, thinking through it logically about what we've been told, what we can deduce, what we can assume based on the way the game works, and the way servers work, and the way understanding networks and systems, it's not possible. Based on what we know right now. It's just not, it's not going to be anything but lockdown servers, guys. Sorry. Not even a hot take, it's just the truth. But, you know, there's always that chance. There's always that chance that Bethesda is going to surprise us. It would be an awful, awful thing. Imagine, can you imagine? It was just like massive server wipe. This silo's stuck. Stuck. Let's see. Can you imagine if it was just like a massive silo or server wipe, and you got nothing. That was just it. Like, you just started over. Everybody back at the beginning. Talk about the fastest way to kill your fucking game. So many people will be gone. People have thousands upon thousands of hours into their characters. Just wiping them with, or starting us over, or unlinking. Oh, okay. Or fundamentally changing the way in which we can play these games. It's just, it's crazy. Well, we did it. That was ran almost 18 minutes. Super fucking slow. Garbage server. Hopefully private servers aren't like this. God, that would just be so bad. But yeah, that's what I think is going to happen there. I just wanted to kind of talk about it and kind of explain why it's not going to be the way that people... Private servers on Wednesday. I'll have mine. I'll have mine. Access work. On Uncut Silos. Like, follow, subscribe, all that stuff. Whatever it is you do on this fucking platform. Thanks for watching.